Hello, welcome to NBR Documentaries. I am Neil and this is my review of The Commandant's Shadow. The Commandant's Shadow is a 2024 feature-length documentary film directed by Daniela Volker. It was produced by Daniela Volker and Gloria Abramoff. I could not find any listings for cinematography or editing at the time of recording. The production companies listed were Snowstorm, Creators Inc. and New Mandate Films. It was released through HBO Documentary Films, Warner Brothers Pictures and Fathom Events. I watched it here in the UK at the City Screen Cinema in the city of York. The film follows two different families, just the offspring mainly of the main people involved, though that does sort of reduce the impact slightly. One is a survivor of a camp, World War II, and it focuses on her daughter, and the other is the son of a prominent figure of the war. Now, the grandson of the person the film is about must have had a bit of a shock when he learned who his grandfather was, his grandfather being Rudolf Höss, Commandant of Auschwitz-Birkenau. Yeah. So the film is just basically more sort of fly-on-the-wall documentary crew just following people around, filming them as they go about learning things about what happened and about the person in question. I mean, it's well shot. The lighting's mostly natural. Some of it's done outside, some of it indoors, but yeah, it's very well shot and it's clearly done on a reasonable budget. It's not your sort of glossy finish type of documentary. My issue is that because it focuses on the children of the people it should be focusing on, it's not as good as it should have been. The grandson's father was only born in 1937, so at the outbreak of war he'd only been 2 anyway. The only part of the film I really didn't like was the fact that the interviewer, was presumably the director, seemed to be somewhat accusatory towards the old man, which clearly none of it was his fault. Now, obviously they lived in a house bordering the camp, and he should have been aware of something, perhaps. But then when the war finished, he was still only 8 years old, so clearly his memories might not be great, because, I mean, the guy's, 80 now? I don't know, it was lacking something because the two people it should have been about, the actual Holocaust survivor and the son of the Commandant, they didn't really meet up and chat. It should have been more about them, and I think it would be more interesting if for the last 15-20 minutes of the film, basically the entire third act, was those two interacting with each other, and we never really got that. So I think they've missed opportunity if there had been a good, meaningful conversation about what it means to be the survivor of something horrific or the offspring of someone who did something horrific. There should have been room there for an adult conversation, but that didn't happen. So because of that, it wasn't anywhere near as hard-hitting in your face as I expected it to be. I thought it would have been deeper, and I'm actually glad for that because, well, part of me is glad for that because obviously it wasn't as upsetting as I expected it to be. but as such, it also made it not quite as interesting as it could have been. Overall, a good film, and certainly not one to watch if you're already feeling depressed, that's for sure. But still, a good film, not quite as good as it could have been. I do still recommend you watch it. Certainly one if you're interested in 20th century history, and one if you're interested in current events as well. If you enjoyed this, please consider clicking the like button and subscribing. I've been Neil for NBR Documentaries. Thank you for your time watching.